Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for another Death Battle. This time we have a bit of an odd matchup. We've got Venom versus Crona. Now, as I should say with all reaction videos, please click the link in the description below to go watch the actual episode itself, whether it be on the Rooster Teeth website or on YouTube. Point is, watch the actual episode itself before watching mine or anyone else's reactions. Don't be a dick. Support the official release. Okay, so before I talk about how I know these characters, I'm just going to address a quick little change. You might remember about here there was a picture of the "We're Protecting Each Other" moment from Ruby, signed by both Aaron Zach and Barbara Dunkelman. Well, that kind of fell off the wall. Although, fortunately, there's this little piece of wood at the bottom that's been stuck to the wall, since way before I moved in here, so I stopped it. It just stayed there. I just came in the room, noticed, and was like, that's weird. So it's still perfectly fine, and it's in another great place. And because I was also moving some stuff around, I thought, great chance to put this here. So, yeah. Anyway, how do I know Venom and Crona? Venom I'm way more familiar with. Well, partly because he was in a death battle before, which was Venom versus Bane, and also just outside of that, I was just vaguely familiar with him. I know his origin from the comics and everything. I have seen the Venom movie, and honestly, I just thought that was okay. As for Crona, I've never watched Soul Eater. The only person I really know from Soul Eater is Marka, and that's because of a little something that I'm going to bring up. So, Ruby fans who watch these, you might want to pay attention to Crona's analysis. Because one day Ruby is going to be fighting Marka, the Soul Eater protagonist. So this'll give you an idea on what she's one day going to fight. So there's that. Also, I was given a heads up on this, before this season even began. Okay, I know the English dub calls Crona a he, but in the original Japanese, Crona's gender actually isn't specified. So I'm going to try my best to just refer to Crona as either Crona, they, them, any gender-neutral stuff that I can do. If I mess up, I apologize. I just thought I'd throw that out there now. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about who is going to win and why, and whether or not they're going to use Crate's Venom. I honestly don't know. I do hear a lot of people say, oh, because Crona's sword, Ragnarok, has this scream ability and Venom's weak to that, boom, that's a Crona win, right? Except this has been brought up before by Death Battle. The repeated exposure has helped Venom build up tolerance to that weakness. Not immunity, but resistance. So I'm not sure if that's going to be as great of a win condition as people might think it is. I also know that Venom is one tough SOB because of being able to take blows from the likes of Juggernaut, the Hulk, Wolverine, and, still healing from them. He's fought Carnage, Spider-Man, a lot of strong people. Speed-wise, I'm not too sure. I know there's a lot of contention about how they classify the speed of the symbiotes in Death Battle. I don't know if they will scale to Spider-Man's dodging light thing, because that's partially due to the spider sense, and the spider sense doesn't detect Venom. So I don't really know about going about... I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. I just don't know if they will. Yeah, I'm honestly kind of clueless as to who's gonna win this. A lot of people who know what they're doing with this sort of stuff seem to unanimously agree on Venom. So I'm gonna try my best to pay attention during the analysis, pick up on stuff, and make a smart decision. Anyway, I'ma shut the fuck up. I don't know why I do that voice for this, but it's just how I do it now. Anyway, and play.
It's always nice to have a best friend attached to your hip, like me and my shotgun leg.
But these two take their friends even further than that.
Venom, the lethal symbiote and Spider-Man's best frenemy.
And
Best
Crona,
frenemy.
the deadly demon sword from Soul Eater.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job
To analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death
death
battle.
battle.
Oh, by the way, calling it the end of Venom's analysis is going to be from the movie, the We Are Venom scene.
Rose from a living darkness. One of these amorphous symbiotes was Venom.
Who was a freaking loser? Hey, don't look at me. All the goop aliens were saying it. So they kicked the poor slime.
Was that a reference to the movie?
Planet.
In its exile, the symbiote underwent a number of misadventures which firmly shaped its personality. It bonded to a heroic Kree soldier.
Are they going to bring up
refugees,
Deadpool again?
A violent monster who committed genocide, and apparently Deadpool.
Damn, no wonder Venom's so messed up in the head.
Eventually, the symbiote
Does
was
explain
discovered
it,
by
yeah.
Peter Parker, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Chocolate brains.
It gave him a pretty slick black suit and awesome new powers. But after finding out it was a confused, raging psychopathic alien, Pete decided to exercise it with the power of Christian Rock.
A wise decision, although ill
That's a good one.
as this event would cause the symbiote to finally meet its greatest partner, Edward Brock.
Eddie was a journalist with the unluckiest backstory ever. While trying to
Oh,
uncover
yeah.
the identity of a serial killer, he blamed the wrong guy. The same day he published his article, Spidey caught the real killer.
Didn't he live right
next door to the tragedy flame?
Long
Oh,
story short,
God.
Eddie was fired from his job, divorced by his wife, and disowned by his father.
Who already blamed Eddie for his wife dying in childbirth.
On
Yeah,
top of all
Eddie's
that,
life
he learned he developed adrenal
sucked.
cancer, with only a few months left to live.
Man, and I thought 2020 was rough. I almost don't blame him for becoming a supervillain.
With all hope lost, he begged God to take it all away, and got an answer. The symbiote.
Just like Captain Planet, with their powers combined, these two losers became a super loser. Well, no, they actually became a horrifying monster with all of Spider-Man's powers and then some.
That sounds about
Their
right.
mutual hatred of Spider-Man caused the symbiote to bond to Eddie like no host ever before. They were perfect, a terror in the night, an unstoppable demon. They were Venom.
It even cured Eddie's cancer.
Sort of, it's complicated.
Apart from Spider-Man's webbing and web-crawling powers, Venom can use shape-shifting to mold
Oh!
his body into cool dudes.
Yeah, the venomous fangs.
Swords, shields,
Poison.
tendrils, worm monster things, even wings. Yeah, imagine seeing this guy flying outside your window. At
That's
night.
when I would
Nope,
shit
good luck
myself.
sleeping ever again.
Venom can camouflage his entire body, heal severe wounds like
Ugh, that
impalement
scene.
and lost limbs, see all around him at once, and psychically project emotions onto others.
Normally, this just makes people feel sorry for themselves, like Wiz on Tinder. But one time he convinced a bunch of other symbiotes
Burn.
that life was meaningless and they killed themselves. Shit, that's dark.
If desperate, the
Yeah.
symbiote can even invade the bodies of others and make them burst
That's-
from inside
Oh,
out.
God.
Gross and awesome. But if he doesn't want to pop them like a fun balloon, he can just take over their body like a creepy puppet master.
While attached to a victim, Venom can control them by fusing the symbiote to their nervous system.
I wonder, would that
specifically
work on
the
Crona?
brainstem and frontal lobes. Fighting off this mind control is extremely difficult unless you have powers that can directly counter it, such as another symbiote.
Oh God! Aliens,
Okay, there we go.
tentacles, and mind control. Are we sure this episode is rated E for everyone, or do we need to start blurring
God
stuff?
damn it.
Don't worry, aside from being a horrible mass murderer, Venom's stories are completely wholesome.
Right.
Venom
Yeah,
proved
when
that
you're hearing it
his
for the first time, that's a bit hard to buy.
frequently ruined his life. Even taking a page out of my favorite book, The Most Dangerous Game, and hunting him on a private island.
Yeah, he was the coolest rival ever, but over the years, things kind of calmed down a bit. They even teamed up every so often.
See,
Like,
even
for
with
fighting
so much
Carnage.
anger, Eddie had a legitimate desire to protect others. As a teenager stealing his dad's car, he accidentally
defeated
ran over
Juggernaut,
and
there we go.
killed a child. Despite his desire
Oh,
to
yeah, I
confess,
heard about that in a
forced
review
him
of the
to plead
movie.
innocent and rigged the jury. The guilt has weighed him down ever since. So while Venom does have a hunger for human brains, he'd rather eat the face off a criminal than an innocent person.
Venom's as tough as they come. He's survived Ghost Rider's penance stare. He's strong enough to toss a tank hundreds of feet up, and fast
Jesus.
enough to take down Spidey 2099, who once caught Mjolnir while it was moving 2,000 times the speed of sound.
Although Venom does not possess
Fuck,
the spider
okay.
that allows Parker to react in microseconds, he can still keep up with all the usual Spidey gallery. Plus, while symbiotes have a severe weakness to high-pitched sound and heat, these
Resistance.
develop resistances to
There
them.
we go.
Like when he took this giant explosion, or when he survived a sonic scream from some mutant gremlins that shattered all glass within 10 miles.
While
10
he may
miles,
be
okay.
tougher to take down than most other symbiotes, Venom never fully overcame his weaknesses. However, his symbiotic genes provide far more help than harm. This includes traits and memories from other hosts, like Scorpion and Flash Thompson.
Wait. Bullets are a genetic trait? How do I pass that down?
Venom would certainly
Of
need
course.
a lot of firepower to survive an encounter with the symbiote god.
Oh, geez, here we go.
What?
First, the Clintar symbiotes were seen as a peaceful people. But turns out they were actually living weapons forged by the primordial deity Null in an attempt to conquer the universe.
Excuse me?
But next up, Marvel decides they're magic maple syrup people from Asgardian IHOP. But okay, cosmic sludge made by alien Satan. Let's go with that.
Despite it
The
all, Eddie
fuck?
and the symbiote have proven they're far more than the dark legacy the Clintar were intended for. They've even gained the respect of the Avengers, and eventually considered Spider-Man a friend. Sort of. It's complicated.
Eddie really is the best pal Venom could have found. And let's be real, he just looks freaking badass.
To be fair, he does. I'm surprised they're not going with the We Are Venom moment.
In ancient times,
Eh,
a demonic
oh well.
being known as the Kishin ravaged humanity, nearly driving all
Alright, time for
mankind
Soul
into the
Eater.
depths of madness. This monster could only be defeated and sealed away by the god of death.
So, why is the literal god of death so goofy looking? You ever seen Death Note?
Anime.
Thanos' girlfriend is scarier than this clown.
If you are unfamiliar with the world of Soul Eater, prepare yourself.
I-
It's different.
Well,
Pretty unfamiliar, but I know some stuff.
Death and his oven mitts founded a school, Death Academy.
Here, warriors called Meisters would train to fight evil using the power of their souls.
They even got neat demon weapons that doubled as people. Together, they learned courage, chivalry, unbreakable friendship. You know, all that anime crap.
Crona Gorgon
Sounds about
was
right.
not one of these students.
Buckle up, it's all Gloomsville from here.
Oh, boy.
Deal with it.
I don't think I know how to deal with this situation.
Throughout their childhood, Crona was abused by their mother, Medusa,
Oh, it's right
a
there.
witch obsessed with the legendary Kishin.
You can see where this is going. Anime Uma Thurman was such a fangirl she figured, hey, why don't I make my own Kishin? So she used her child as a guinea pig in a bunch of crazy experiments. You know, it
Oh,
sounds like something you do.
That's...
Don't be silly, I only use actual guinea pigs. Part of Medusa's great experiment included bonding Crona to a weapon, much like the Meisters of Death Academy. However, joining with Ragnarok was a bit more literal.
Ragnarok used to be your run-of-the-mill transforming weapon person until Medusa melted him alive in black blood.
Oh,
Black blood
God.
being another experiment of hers. Crona's own blood is, in fact, this same black blood, which they can remotely control. It can be used to heal wounds
Oh.
and even harden as a sort of internal armor.
Cooking rags in black blood turned him into a brand
Okay.
new weapon that was literally poured into Crona's bloodstream.
From that point
Oh,
on,
that's-
Crona and Ragnarok were two halves of the same person. The meek and tortured child firmly attached to their loud and brazen weapon.
And Raggy has that black blood control too, and can yank poor Crona around like a puppet. They can use black blood to create wings, thorny vines, all kinds of...
They both have to sprout wings and fly while
needles.
fighting.
Ugh, I hate needles. What's up with that mouth when he transforms into a sword? That thing's messed up.
Like the Meisters, Crona can wield their own soul in combat, amplified by Ragnarok as a
Okay,
technique.
I want to pay attention to
Think of
the
it like
scream.
an electric guitar up to an amp, though more akin to a screeching banshee on LSD.
I didn't know you play.
I don't. It's incredibly powerful, causing internal damage to foes and making Ragnarok vibrate to increase his cutting power. Hey, are you okay?
Oh god, his ear is bleeding.
With this
I only
weapon
just
at their
noticed
side,
that.
Crona set out on a quest to become a Kishi, which required quite a lot of homicide.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Ragnarok can absorb the souls of dead people, and
Oh.
supposedly enough souls will turn Crona into the Kishin. So they went around slaughtering hundreds of people.
Despite their name,
Ugh.
Death Academy wasn't exactly a fan, particularly their star student, Maka Alburn.
Don't worry, she and Crona ended up becoming good friends. Until they weren't. Sort of. It's complicated.
As a
Oh.
pawn in Medusa's mission, Crona gained
So
several
weird.
levels of new potential. Notably, after
A lot of
gaining or
complicated
absorbing the powers of
relationships.
the monstrous Black Clown, the Demon Tool Brew, and even Ashura, the original Kishi.
All of which increased Crona's abilities, especially the black blood. Now Crona could turn
Oh,
their
boy.
entire body into goop, and the slightest touch could inflict madness. That's madness with a capital M, by the way.
This madness is a corruptive effect that causes
Ugh.
targeted variants of delusion or obsession, often spread as a wavelength. The wavelength of Crona's mad blood specifically causes violent psychosis.
Crona may be a
Huh.
pawn, but they're a badass. They can cut through a whole ghost ship, cover the moon with sound waves, open the moon's mouth? What the hell is wrong with that moon?
Crona and
The
Ragnarok
Solia world is weird.
against multiple Death Academy students, including Maka, Death the Kid, and Black Star.
Sometimes all at once.
Kid once flew from Nevada to Egypt in less than a minute, and Black
Jesus.
Star is even faster. He's dodged lasers and been tracked moving over 20 kilometers in 6 microseconds while approaching Baba Yaga Castle.
And Crona's been able to
I wanna
make
say
good
Crona
time
definitely has the
crush
speed
a whole
edge.
goddamn Ukrainian city.
While this city isn't
A whole
named,
you
we
city-
can use
a whole
similar
city, okay.
metropolitan area in Ukraine. Kiev, for instance. With this in mind, Crona must have created over 9 trillion tons of black blood, enough to fill over 6 billion Olympic swimming pools.
But Crona's a big leap from invincible. They've had their shit kicked in plenty of times, and their hardened black blood can only block so much.
Even then, Medusa's plan ultimately succeeded. After years of scheming, Crona absorbed the power of Ashura and became a Kishi.
Well, more like Kishin absorbed Crona, but close enough.
But with the power of friendship, Crona ironically wound up defeating the Kishin once and for all. Despite their life,
Sorry, I'm not talking so much. I'm trying to, like,
Crona was the one who ultimately saved
actually
the
get
world.
this
With an
info.
added side effect of a new madness wavelength that made everyone obsessed with boobs. Truly a
What?
positive effect on people everywhere.
Just give up. I'm tired of trying to figure out how to deal with you.
Pause. Okay. So, the main thing I wanted to pay attention to was, like, the area in which that Crona could, like, impact with attacks. Because in Venom's analysis, they mentioned how he survived screams from mutants that could shatter windows for about 10 miles away. But seeing as how Crona covered a whole city with black blood, I want to say that they might be able to trump that. It definitely sounds like Crona is faster. And see, I don't know if, like, the whole, like, inflicting madness thing will work on Eddie and the symbiote. I mean, it's not the exact same thing as, like, surviving Ghost Rider's penance there, because that affects the soul, whereas Crona's madness thing would affect the mind. Let's see, there was also... Wait, Venom also beat Juggernaut. And I'm sure... Wait, how big was the earthquake they said late in the last episode that he could do. I do not know. I'm seriously torn with this one. Like, every instinct I have is telling me to go with Crona. And this also kind of feels like one of those situations where I should just, trust that instinct. It's like a similar instinct with like Wally versus Sonic, or like, admittedly I had that with Ben versus Hal, but I just went with stupid like nostalgia and favoritism. But there's a lot of people that reckon Venom should win, although that's if they, like, because I don't know what the crate stuff is. Like, was it the alien god stuff? Like, alien god Satan, was it? I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something. Okay, you know what? I feel like if I go with Crona and it turns out I'm wrong, then it's gonna be because there was something in Venom's analysis that I missed. But at the same time, I'm also thinking, if I go with Venom and it turns out I'm wrong, I'm gonna be feeling like, well, duh. But you know what? Fuck me. Okay. You know what? Just gonna flip this coin. Okay, because this is an old UK pound. Tails. Heads. Okay, fuck it. Heads Venom, tails Crona. Okay. Going with Crona. Let's see. Alright, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities. It's time for a death battle! But you know what, if Venom wins, he's the character I prefer anyway, so fine with whichever result.
Hello?
Oh, and I saw this on Death Battle Cast, so I'll point out when it's 100% blind. Every time I hear that, I can't help but think it sounds like Jeremy from Achievement Hunter, but I know it's not, so it's kind of weird.
I don't think I can handle this right now.
To be fair though, if I saw Venom jump at me, I wouldn't know how to handle that. I mean, I'd probably die, but... Oh fuck, yeah, Venom can do that too. And 100% blind from here. He's resisting it. Okay, the fact he's resisting it this early on, it's either... Well, it's a pretty bad sign either way, honestly. Is he invisible?
The ones hiding under your bed.
Oh god.
Sharp and eyes glowing red.
Oh god, that's creepy. Jesus. Oh, they're using the shapeshifting. Black blood.
I know. It's black.
And way tougher, and there's the moon. Yep.
Stupid!
Yo, having the moon from Solia here, nice touch. Hey, they're both sprouting wings and flying while fighting. It's cool. This is a really cool fight, by the way. Jesus! Them just being ruthless. Oh, there's Eddie.
We are the darkness. We are your nightmare.
Is this gonna be Venom's comeback, or is he just gonna get murdered?
I hate you.
Oh, that's a lot of screaming. Did you just eat their souls? And that's a creepy ass shot, and I called it right!
Man, these symbiote
Or should I say the coin did?
fights with pink-haired anime characters. Freaking crazy.
Venom was certainly a tricky opponent.
Oh, they had to call attention to that, didn't they?
A multitude of weapons kept Crona on guard. Unfortunately, Venom lacked the power needed to keep up a prolonged fight.
Yeah, Crona matching Black Star's speed makes for a pretty clear difference. Crona could reach Mach 9,000, while Venom only topped out around Mach 2,000.
And while Venom had shown
Okay.
incredible physical strength that put Spider-Man to shame, he could never compete with 9 trillion tons of mad.
That's the feat that...
Anyway, that precise control of the black
got me
blood totally
thinking.
meant Crona could push out any of Venom's attempt at being a puppeteer.
And Crona has shown even greater feats of strength as well. Assuming all of the moon's teeth are similar in size and stone,
That's such a
opening
weird
this jaw
sentence.
is equivalent to lifting over 10,000 tons.
Of course, the final nail in Eddie's coffin was the fact that half of Crona's arsenal was sound-based, basically Venom's kryptonite.
Somewhat.
Well,
Recall
one of
that
them.
Venom did gain
And,
notable resistance
yeah.
to sound attacks, so we needed to determine if Crona's sonic waves were great enough to effectively harm him.
You know those gremlins who shattered every window in 10 miles with a screech attack? The symbiote barely survived it, so that's a good high end to look at.
It takes at least 100 decibels
Okay.
to shatter glass normally. To cover that much distance, the combined sonic blast must have equaled about 244 decibels.
Jesus.
In contrast, in order to engulf the moon, Crona's sonic waves must have reached over 275 decibels.
And yes,
And remember how
size and shape of
decibels work?
Ugh, just look at that freaky thing.
Sure, 275 doesn't seem that much more than 244, but decibels increase on a logarithmic rate. This means Crona's sound attack
I remember
was actually
from,
over
Sindel
1,000
versus Black
times
Canary.
Stronger.
Vinny for sure wasn't surviving that.
Eddie and the symbiote held their own with versatility, but Crona and Ragnarok had them beat in destructive power, blistering speed, and an arsenal that could take advantage of Venom's key weakness.
Looks like Venom just got Ragnar
Okay.
rocked.
The winner is
Fair enough.
Crona.
Congrats, Crona.
Thanks for watching this episode of Death Battle. Come back next
Okay.
week for previews of our upcoming matchups. If you want to watch more stuff, you can click the boxes
What's
right around
next?
here, and you can always pick up some DB merch at store.roosterteeth.com.
Attention, blue team!
Sarge?
This is the red team! We are here to destroy you!
I got a
Uh,
tank. People with tanks are never outnumbered.
Wait, what? Red versus blue? What? What? Hold the fuck on. Excuse me. I gotta double check that. Um. 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 What? um. Okay, I have quite a bit to say about the next time, but I should really talk about this episode. Sorry I didn't talk a lot throughout, I think, Crona's analysis mostly. I was trying to really listen because it's my first real exposure to Soul Eater. And, yeah, from the knowledge that I now have of Soul Eater, and judging from what Crona is capable of, I gotta assume Marka should be at least comparable. Yeah, if Ruby fights her now, she's going to die. Yeah, but hey, Ruby is still ongoing, so Ruby could get some power buffs. I can hope. Although, to truth be told, I'd rather this matchup happen first. But yeah, really cool fight. Venom had some really creepy ass moments there, which, you know, I appreciate that. Although Crona got that last creepy shot. And I guess, hey, here's the Halloween episode. Because it came out in October and that was creepy. Happy that my gut instinct turned out to be right, and the coin I flipped turned out to be right. That's the second time I flipped a coin for a verdict, and it was right both times, so... Hey, props to the coins, I guess. The voice acting, sounded really good. I'm really sorry to the voice actor of Ragnarok, because every time I heard the "pay attention, you turd" line, is it just me, or did it sound like a little bit like Jeremy from Achievement Hunter? It's like, I don't know why I thought that. It's just one of the first things I thought when I heard that voice. I don't know, I'm weird, and I also have a massive Rooster Teeth bias. Speaking of Rooster Teeth biases, the next time, red versus blue? I assume it's red team versus blue team? I'm also just gonna throw this out there now. If blue team has Washington and Carolina, they've won. But given the fact it was just showing Blood Gulch, I want to go ahead and say that they're going to be looking at red team and blue team as they were during the Blood Gulch Chronicles. Just based on what I saw, and given who I saw, I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's, at the very least, Sarge, Griff, Simmons, and Donut. I don't see why Donut wouldn't be there. Versus Church, Tucker, Caboose, and Tex. It's gonna be awkward finding voice actors for a couple of them, I'm just gonna say that. I mean, I imagine, like, yeah, Matt's gonna be playing Sarge, Gus is gonna be Simmons, Jeff is gonna be Griff, of course Dan is gonna be Donut, Jason's gonna be Tucker, they're gonna get Bernie back to play Church, unless Lopez is also involved. But I don't know who the fifth of blue team would be then, like, I don't know, maybe Doc, but Doc's like, whole thing is that he's neutral. Like, he's on neither side of it. Well, then again, Tex is meant to be, like, neutral as well. Everyone ties her with blue team, so... They showed the Warthog and Sheila. I want to say maybe they'll be involved. I honestly don't really know. Okay, thinking about it in my head, like, Tucker is, like, the best fighter out of the lot. Aside from Tex, although Tex has that thing which I imagine is going to bite her in the ass. And that being that she's always doomed to fail. And, like, in a death battle, your, like, goal would be to kill the other person. So I want to say... Well, then again, if Tex loses, then... Well, just Tex dies. That wouldn't be a loss for Blue Team. Why do I get the feeling a lot of characters I like are gonna die in this, no matter who wins? Like, even the winning team, I imagine, would have, like, people who die on it. Like, unless everyone dies all at once, then, like, as the fight goes on, it'd be pretty obvious to tell who wins just by, like, having one person on it die, and then you think, oh, well, that team's gonna win because the other team just lost someone. But I imagine we're gonna see deaths on both teams. And given that I like the Reds and Blues, this is gonna be rough, but at the same time, great to watch. Alright, I'll say this quickly. If Caboose doesn't kill Church, I'm gonna be surprised and annoyed at the same time, because come on, that's gotta happen. Oh boy. Well, after finding that out, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll see you next time for Red vs. Blue. And by the way, the new season is starting soon, Red vs. Blue Zero, and for Death Battle fans that have watched a lot of my videos before, I'm just going to go ahead and mention, in case you haven't heard, the director of that season is Torian. He got to make his own season of Red vs. Blue, which is really, really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in it. Well, anyway, so thanks for watching, all of that stuff, and you know what, considering I said F the rotation, it makes sense to just restart the rotation. Or maybe I should go back and... You know what, here's whatever outro I decide to put in. Bye.
Hey guys, Goku here. You are watching Your Only Mate. And Your Only Mate is only good for the fact that at least he won't eat as much of your food. Catch you later!